start with the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Was there any community forum?
Nobody came to me during that time.
Okay. Conflict of interest declarations, we covered all that on that.
I believe we are,
Okay.
sir.
Can I get a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Jeff, second?
Second.
Jamie, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda is adopted. All right. Go ahead and read off there.
Yeah, just some great stuff, but our Orland Turk team, state champions, so Laney Utek, Peyton Chemnitz, Kelsey Roberts, Kate Hamilton, Colin Hughes, and Moshe Richmond for their Readers Theater presentation of A Pig's Tale. And so they won gold at the state competition in Harrisburg, and that was a few Fridays ago. And then, of course, our volleyball team earning 6th place. So those are things that were reported to me.
Awesome.
Yes, very much so.
Business manager? Okay. Plant maintenance,
Like usual, I won't read this to you, just kind of hit the highlights. Kind of the main one, we did the tour over there, obviously that's progressing well at the old gym, I think. We're kind of on course for what we thought that was going to be. So kind of moving through that, we talked about moving forward, like kind of updating some of the other stuff over there as far as floors and bathrooms and that stuff. And we'll work through that as it, as we progress through it. The other thing I got for you is we had a risk assessment done by our insurance company. That's what's attached to your back side of my report, so it's about 14 pages long. Hit the highlights, basically, we did pretty well. It's a free service they come in and do, just kind of hit any, blatant obvious risks that we might have that could be safety issues. Nothing that was major that he noted, so it was kind of, like I said, some low-hanging fruit stuff that he picked out. MSDS sheets we need to have in certain areas. Re-inventory our chemicals in the science room. And then a couple things as far as fire extinguishers go. So report went pretty well. It's just kind of a knowledge piece for us and some things we can work on there, but nothing major that came out of that as far as safety violation. Contracted work, American Fence, I talked to them today. They are set to come back and finish up either the 27th, 28th, or 29th. Complete the fence project out here. So I'll keep well on top of that and make sure I follow up, make sure they get that done. So, because they said they were going to be here before this meeting. So, but that's how that goes. Put a couple future CIP projects and purchases in there that just to think about kind of stuff. Things that I see and notice that are going to be probably in a 5-year type plan that we need to address. But you can look at those. Transportation report, buses, we have all of our buses here, that's the first time since I've been here that we've had all the buses here, so that's kind of cool. We've had some issues with some of the DEF systems on them. Talking to Brandon over at Foreman's, I think we're gonna kind of get us set up over here so we can read some of the codes in the computers and diagnose stuff over here a little bit more before we send it over there, because once we send it over there, it sits for several weeks before they can ever look at it, so we just lose time on it. So we're going to try to get set up here so we can do some of the initial diagnostic stuff here. But yeah, other than that, that's kind of the maintenance report. Still looking for a vehicle.
okay, thank you. Principal,
So, if you look at the back of mine, you'll see there's a blue sheet, I believe on mine, that it's a flyer that's gonna go out to the parents and it's gonna run on Facebook and then it'll go out to everybody's email and we'll send out to school reach, but it's how we're gonna bring kids through this east entrance here in the middle school we had talked about.
Do they have that, Amy?
I gave it.
Oh, you
It's
gave it?
attached to mine.
Oh,
It's on
oh,
this.
there it is, yeah. Got it, yeah. Okay, I just let Jim look at it, so.
just said it in front of you.
Okay, gotcha.
It looks like this. So just so you know, that's gonna go out, I would like to send it out probably Wednesday is my plan, just so, I don't wanna send it out now, because I don't wanna confuse anybody, so I wanna send it out about Wednesday. But I don't wanna wait till Thursday, because I don't wanna forget, really is why. So I'm gonna send it out on Wednesday, make sure all parents know, and then I'll do that again over the break too, right before we come back. So if you have questions on that, you can always ask me, or. We had a holiday evening tonight. It was for the elementary. We're supposed to have a parent-student title activity every single year where we involve the parents and things like that. So we had that tonight. Any student could come, you could bring any kids, as long as you had a parent with you. And it's basically just to make parents aware of the things we do at school. I sent out there's a little flyer that goes with it. We had a pretty good turnout for the first night. 5 to 6, it was hard to decide what time would be a good time, because I wanted the parents to be able to come after work, but then I didn't want to be too late, and I didn't want to go over like supper time. So it was hard to find the times, but people just kind of came in and out as they came. I thought it worked pretty well. It's the first year, and the kids seem to really enjoy it, so we'll probably continue doing that each year. I think it's fun for the kids. And all the teachers that were there tonight working, I didn't require any of them to be there. They just all volunteered to come in and help out. So the ones that were there working, some of them, I know they have their own kids, and so they wanted to come, so I would encourage them just to take their own kids. We'll find, ways to make that happen. Semester tests are underway. They could have started last week, some of the projects did, if they were going to talk about the projects, and then this week they're underway. We've adopted that new schedule where they're not 2 hours long, so they're only an hour. They're their regular schedule, so they have to be, the nice thing is they have to be here every day. It used to be when they had a semester test, they only had to be there for that period, and then they could go do whatever they wanted if they didn't have a test the next period. Or if it only took them 40 minutes to do their test, then they could go home or go do whatever they wanted. Personally, I don't really love that. I think that it's much easier just to have them here at school, so I know where they're at and what they're doing. Less chaos. And I think that I hung up the semester tests. Kids have been looking at them to see when their tests are. They've known ahead of time. The teachers, I haven't heard anything negative about it so far, but we're not all the way through the week yet, so we'll see how it goes. Thursday, so on Thursday we won't have semester tests. The middle school and the elementary and the high school, we're just kind of we're just here in the morning, and so we're gonna have some fun time together. We'll be utilizing the gyms, and, I told them it's a day of learning how to cooperate and, be gracious when you don't win, so we're gonna do that kind of stuff. We had ice cream sundaes today for lunch. Miss Stevens and the National Honor Society came. If the students have a SOAR card, we give out SOAR cards. If your kids go to school, you've probably heard about them quite a bit. So they had to bring a SOAR card, and then they got an ice cream sundae today made for them, they had put whatever toppings they wanted on it. Most everybody got an ice cream sundae. So, let's see the next one. The handbook, I had sent that out to you guys. I hope you guys read it. We talked about that. It's coming up later. And then the exciting news is I had a young man come today. He toured the school. He's graduating from NSU not this spring, but next spring is in band. He's a band major. He's actually went to school at Millette. His dad is a teacher. His name, you might know him because he knew a lot of kids when he was here because he worked at Byron Bible Campus as a counselor. His name is Zeke Duncan. He's a really nice young man. He was very much interested in our band room, and you could see him just sitting back and thinking about how he would put things together. So we had a really nice talk. I'm just, trying to get him to really think. He said he loved our school. He could just tell it's such a great school, and the staff was warm. And so we'll see. I told him to keep in touch with me. He sent me his resume there when he left, and so I'm planning to continue to bother him a little bit off and on just to see where he's at. Anyway. Oh, you know his dad? Did you? Yeah. So and so, you know, he knows what it, obviously what it takes to teach, so. I was really excited about it. Mainly I was excited because the kids in the hallway, high school all the way down to elementary, were like, hey! And they all knew him, so I was excited about that. The bus licensing, so we're about ready. I thought the guy was gonna come up, but Mr. Rice said we're gonna go down.
We're gonna have
He
to
thinks.
know that we're,
So, we're just about ready to do that. I think we're well on our way. We're really close, I'd say. We're super, super close. We just need to finish it, and that's what's happening. So, if you have more questions on that, I can talk to you and discuss that more in executive session, if you want to. And then the stuff below that I just put in, is the same thing. I just copied and pasted it over that we could talk about later in the handbook. And then, of course, the behavior report, I had 2 write-ups in middle school this month. I put an attendance one on because we are having trouble. I think every district is having trouble with attendance since COVID. And attendance is a huge issue. We have kids missing over 20 class periods in high school. They just don't come. Or their parents. 20, yep, or their parents call them in and they have, you know, appointments, or they have. So when you miss that much of that one class period, they used to be able to make it up and come in on Fridays and do those minutes and be able to make them up. I don't believe in that. I believe if you miss a class period, you can't come sit in my office for 15 minutes and learn what was given in that class for 50 minutes. That's how I feel about it. I feel like you have to be in class to learn those things. I do believe that, you know, people have things they need to do, and you have appointments you need to go to, but I think you need to be aware that we just can't miss the same class over and over and over. We do send it into truancy. Tom's our truancy officer, so he does send it into truancy to our state's attorney. Some of our students have been turned in 2 or 3 times this year, and that's what they're turned in. Yes.
Are there some medical things that you, like, understand, like, they have to miss for disappointment, or, I mean?
So they're marked 2 different ways in there. One is marked if you have a doctor's note.
Okay, and do those not?
They do count, but you still have to realize that you're missing 20 class periods of maybe so if you're missing 20 class periods of, let's say, chemistry.
I understand
You know what I
that,
mean?
like, yes, like, you need to be learning
So,
the material.
I mean, and, you know, you can make appointments at different times of the day, so, you know, you can still have chemistry, maybe during, you know, everybody has a study hall lunch period. So I've just put attendance on there. So the attendance on there is 1 for middle school and 6 for high school. Those are the ones that have been written and sent to the state's attorney. There's 6 kids in high school that have been sent to letterhead and login. I just thought you guys might like to know that data. I'm kind of a data person, so. And then on number 4, you can kind of read the rest. Those are just the meetings I've been in, and the Corps came and did some training. They finished up their training for our SPED staff and our paraprofessionals, and then I was just looking ahead to 24, 25, because this is kind of the time of year we start to look ahead as to what are we looking at for next year. So I just talked to Mr. Rice. We've been talking about this. I'll let him speak on the middle school history. I would like to just fill it in with that position. I think that probably makes the most sense. And then we have 8 new students starting after Christmas break. They are moving into district. They're all in elementary school. So we have 2 kindergartners coming in, and then I think, I can't remember their exact ages, but I know we have a 4th grader coming in, which puts that class at 29, and it's a big class, so, you know, if we stay at that number, I think we're gonna need to split that class next year. So, that would be my recommendation. The rest of them will be fine.
any questions?
I got one alibi on your blue sheet,
Yep, I saw you circling something.
under bus students, your second bullet down there, it says all students. If we could change that to all bus riders, because as a dad, if I read down and see all students will enter, exit through the east door, I'm going to the east door, because I'll stop reading there. So if we can change that to bus
Bus.
riders
All
or,
bus students, how about that? Will that work?
yeah,
Okay.
because if I see all students, I'm just gonna assume that everybody's in and out on that door.
Anything else? Thank you. Superintendent report.
Okay, so Dave's talked about busing and transportation already, and we've touched on CDL certification. Under physical plant, just Dave and Amy and I will be getting together to discuss, you know, what does the next 5 years look like? And so some of the things that I had down on there was, you know, the roof, the windows, a boiler system, you know, finishing the wall in the gym, mold abatement, the track and football facility, parking, you know, just making sure that we have all those things that are serviceable for our students. Other thing that happened in the plant, we did have a minor gas leak. What was that, Dave, about a week or so ago?
Yeah,
A couple weeks, yeah, I called Jim about it, but it was something on their part and something on our part, but yeah, boy, you could smell the rotten eggs, I'll tell you that. Yeah, but it's been taken care of. Under vision, we have a large group of people. I don't, did Amy, or do you have my notes or not?
No, I did not get those.
Oh, okay, because I can make some for you, it's not an issue, but, so here are some names that came up that we're considering or wanting to be on the track and field project, but Mr. Bishop, Mrs. Holford, Mr. Jensen, Megan Kleinsasser, Tammy Lewis, Karen Holmes, Jessica Cheddar, TJ Stevens, Kevin Clark, Josh McGilvery, Corey, I say it Youngman, is that right? Okay. Ryan Hughes have expressed interest. I've talked to Suzanne Hamilton and Brenda Struck to see if there's some others as far as that. But any other names that you have, I don't have a problem contacting them and asking if they would like to serve, and then we'll have a bigger pot to choose from. Because like what was mentioned, you know, we want 3 from Woolsey, 3 from Wessington. We want to make sure that we have good representation from throughout the district.
Are all these people from the district?
Well, Ryan Hughes I know is not. So,
I think that would be important if we're at least paying the district's tax dollars.
absolutely.
Let's stick with the district.
Yep. No, that's totally fine. I just.
What if you have a teacher that's not in district?
Yeah.
Because really, they bring their kids to me.
We can talk about that too. I mean, that's just part of all the setup. And just, you know, going from there, because, you know, who has a vote? So, absolutely. Activities, of course, our winter sports are up and rolling. We did have a blood drive. The student council registered 16 or 17 new donors, which was good, and I believe the drive pulled in 31 or 32 people, which was really good. We were busy all day, so that was really wonderful. And then, of course, the big bow is coming up, and I'm looking forward to getting to my first one and just seeing how all of that rolls, so that'll be neat. Lindsay's talked about the recommendation of filling from within, and I would wholeheartedly support that. That just, it's wise. We have the people to do it, so let's just do it. And then just the meetings that I've been at. The big one was the District 22 meeting with the legislators, talking about, oh gosh, anything from teacher certification, recruitment of teachers, keeping people in the profession, all the way to property taxes and insurance rates for schools, you name it. So it was a really good conversation. And then I cannot remember Randy from Santel, his last name. But he came in and talked with Austin and Lindsay and I just about some things that Santel can do for us. And then they also got onto the esports as well. So, you know, when we talk vision, again, those are the things that we want to be looking at to help enhance our program. And then, as always, contact me if you got some questions.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes?
Was that blood drive with Vitalant?
By talent?
No, it
No,
was
it was LifeServe or LifeServe.
Okay, cause that Vitalant or whatever it is,
Mhm.
I get emails, texts, and calls
All the
Any-
time?
all the time unless there's a blood drive in Bullseye.
And then
This
you don't
is
get
the
one.
first time LifeServe has been here for a
Yeah.
while. Otherwise, I think it's always been by Talent.
I think they
They
came
did
last
good.
year for the first time and.
They
Yeah.
did, but we've had both by town.
I get them when they're in Watertown or Pier, and I'm like, call
They
me
do
when
call
you're
a
in
lot.
Bullseye.
You must have some
And
good
then they
blood.
don't call.
They call a lot.
Are you a universal donor?
No.
Okay.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda? Where we at? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead. The Mid-Central report,
I don't have
okay. Brooke, anything on core?
it. You just.
No, Lindsay,
What's that?
were you gonna contact somebody and see if they wanted to apply?
So I talked to Core, she actually came this month, Renee came. So they haven't had any applicants for the SLP position. So we had one in town here, not an SLP, SLPA, but she was supposed to contact us or the Core, we were gonna, because after Christmas, they're gonna open it up to SLPAs.
Yes.
So I didn't have anybody contact, and they haven't had anybody contact, so.
Just curious where that was.
Yeah, and Brooke, we talked about that off camera a little bit in Platt. So,
Oh.
and she said that all of the co-ops are looking for SLPs right now, so that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I heard her here say some things. It's hard in that listening to,
Yeah, it
on,
is.
yeah, it's the feedback and yeah, it's weird, but, okay. That's all.
Any other committee reports right now? Okay, now can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
What's that?
Second motion.
Oh, Jamie motion? Tara, second. All in favor?
Hi.
Opposed? All right, consent agenda is approved. New and unfinished business. Policy update, section E support services.
Yeah, so I have down emergency plans and ALICE training. Dave and I are gonna do ALICE training with the staff on January 5th. But when I started looking at the policy in section E, it could use a good once-over, just to take a look at some things. And one of the best things that we can do is to look at policy and see if things still make sense, or if we need to make a little change. So one thing that I would like to do, if it's possible in January, is just have a read-through with the policy group. That's all I got as far as that.
Okay. Building and grounds. We have,
We want to, talking with Amy, want to let for bids on roof replacement in January, so then we could, I guess I would call it get in line.
okay.
So
And I'm kind of looking at now as, we talked about January, but because this meeting's late and next meeting's early, I think I'm gonna run out of notification time.
Okay.
So if we could just motion and do bids in February.
Okay,
Okay.
motion to do the bids in February?
Yeah,
Okay.
and that gives Dave Nice a chance to do the
Okay.
specs, plus we can get the notices in. Seems like the next meeting's on the 8th, so
Oh,
we're running out of time.
Go, go, go.
Yeah, it's gonna be our first day back to school, we have another board meeting, guys.
Could I
Running out of
get,
time for the notices to hit the paper.
gotcha. Could I get a motion to let for bids on the elementary roof replacement in February?
Motion.
Brooke, or
Ashley.
Ashley?
But I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that's approved. Pickup discussion.
Yeah, it's one of those things to where, again, I'm seeing a need, and it's just a matter of, I'm getting to the point of, what do we have an appetite for? Because I could tell you that Dave and Ralph and Carter are all like, we could really use one. To pull those, you name it. using other school vehicles and possibly making transmissions garbage.
Okay. So,
But Dave has 2 pickups, I think, Dave, that you had been looking at, but one through the fire department for sure.
Yeah, that one, I know, it's one of those things where we're gonna get rid of it, so it'd be probably the most cost-effective one, but,
and that would be around what?
18,000 is what we're asking for that, yeah.
Okay.
I believe you had pictures last.
Yeah, I
month.
had pictures of it the
Yeah.
last time, it came from Mid Dakota, they serviced out, and we bought it from them, in that amount of time, we actually got donated a better one that fits our needs a little better, so this one we don't really need, but it's good, yeah, we were gonna use it as an emergency vehicle, so we were pretty well
Okay.
happy with the mechanical part of it. It's in good shape.
Budget-wise, Amy, we're,
And then it's under the bid limit plus provided from another nonprofit.
okay. All right. Now, would it technically need a motion as it's under?
You wouldn't have to, you could just approve the payment of the bill next month.
But I wouldn't mind.
Well, you know where everybody stands if you get a motion.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind getting a motion on it. Could I get a motion for up to 18, is it 18,000?
Yes.
That would be purchased from the,
It'd be the Woolsey Fire Protection
Okay.
District.
okay.
Did you say you had 2 trucks that you were looking at then?
I had another one, it was, at surplus, but it's gone now. So, I had to, that one has since left.
And I'm sorry, I wasn't here last meeting, how many miles are on the truck?
That one has, geez, I knew you were gonna ask me. I'd have to look back at my emails. I wanna say 140.
Diesel or gas?
Gas. Gas, 3/4 ton. It's got a service, box on it now. That's actually really nice. I just don't know if it'll suit our needs. It might be something we just end up surplusing and get rid of, but, we'll see. If it goes through, we'll make whatever work, but otherwise, I mean, and I've been shopping around for a while, it's just, if we want something lower miles, you're gonna probably pay double. Like, if you want something in that 50 to 60, 70,000 mile range, like, you're gonna pay double that
By
price.
rights, this isn't gonna be putting on a ton of miles.
It's not a lot of miles, and a lot of it's just here on the property, just moving stuff around. We just need something to move stuff around, and then we've got that trailer, that dump trailer full, and it's just not advantageous to pull it with that van, so.
Okay.
Purchase from the Woolsey Fire
Yep.
Protection District.
So, could I get a motion to purchase the said vehicle from the Woolsey Fire Protection District?
It's a mouth.
Tara?
I'll second it.
Jeff? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Thank you, Dave, for doing all the research.
Yeah, you
on
bet.
that.
Thanks, guys.
Right.
That goes a long way to help out.
Strategic planning.
Yeah, this goes along with what I had talked about under vision. So just the forming of the committee for the track and football field. I'm also just wondering, I just really think that it would be wise moving forward for, not only the building and grounds, but, what do we want a Woolsey graduate to look like? All of these other things. What do we want when we're looking to attract quality teachers? And I have some ideas, and I have thrown them out to you, but it's just a matter of where you want to go with
So
it.
this is 2 separate committees, basically.
Or you could have the one, or you can have 2, but it's just a matter, because if we want to call it a strategic plan, then that's all encompassing, and then we could have the track committee. Yeah, however we want to, but it's moving forward. I just want to make sure that we are in a very good spot moving forward.
Yeah.
That's all.
I am happy to see that many people have signed up.
Yes.
I'm hoping to have 3 board members on this also.
Okay.
So if anybody would like to be on it, Jamie and Mason and Tara. There we go.
Okay, I will put that down here too.
Who was Are you gonna do 2 committees then?
Well,
I think 2 committees are good if you come down, because one is going to be your track and field, and they're gonna put all their focus there, they're gonna put their fundraising abilities and all of that, and then your strategic plan is more global.
yep,
I think the
Absolutely.
strategic plan, aren't we already have a committee of that?
So I was trying to think of,
I have not seen it, guys.
I think
I
that's
believe
where
it
we
was
usually, yeah.
at the beginning of the year, that we marginalized, I think, three board members to be on it or something.
Usually
As far
the
as-
strategic planning is like a group, like a policy and.
So you want just the board, or you want outside
Oh,
members for strategic planning?
I
What do you
want our constituents as a part of that, because they're the ones that are feeding us our future. So yes, I mean, I
And
want,
that's how we get
if we do
by.
have a strategic plan committee, perfect, and then let's find some others, because again, you pick their brains and find out, you know, again, what do we want to graduate, what type of skills? You know, what are we looking for in teachers? You know, you can talk about, you know, what do we want as far as, I'll call it citizenship-friendly education. You know, all of those different parts. And I've got stuff up on my board in my room that, you know, I've been working on, and I'm more than willing to share all of that with you.
My strategics was Jim, Jamie, and Tara.
Okay. So there are 2 different groups. I think the strategic planning, like it's always been a community, and there's always been board members.
Yep.
Last time we were meeting,
Yeah,
just
before
before COVID,
COVID.
there was like 15 of them, I
Yeah.
think, there was a lot of them.
So it'd be fun to, or it'd be prudent just to reach out to them and see if they still have an interest.
To read.
Yeah, because there's a lot to revisit after COVID.
We will look at that.
Okay.
But, as far as the,
As far as the track and football
Yep.
field, yes.
yep, I like how I was counting the numbers.
Mhm.
Mine, sorry. Excuse you.
Yeah, and we can strike that one. Yep.
We will have to discuss a teacher that doesn't live in the district. that we're
Right.
going to-
Right.
But there's still, what's,
Absolutely, we can discuss that. Because I think I can do some more calling. Yep. And I can do some more calling if you have some other people, or I can even talk to some other teachers too.
I,
Yeah. Okay.
okay, awesome.
American Rescue Plan.
I don't think we need, yeah, American Rescue Plan.
Okay, I have a sheet for Jim, but basically this is the safe return to school, and we have to update that. So I have sat with Julie Boomsma, we've gone through it, and we're down to basically a one-page document that says, here's what we are going to do, here's what we are going to recommend. But again, they're recommendations. You know, the only time that we're gonna, you know, have someone stay home is you have 100.4, stay home. Because we know that things are ever changing when it comes to COVID, and if you haven't heard, now it's manifesting as pink eye. So, you know, but we have that, so that's basically just, so you know, that's what we're gonna put on the website. I think it's easily digestible, you know, for anybody to take a look at, as far as that. And then it keeps us in the good graces with the state.
I mean, it has to be approved.
Yes, it does.
Well, I guess when everybody wants to read through that, I'm going to, yeah. I'm going to read through the resignations while everybody gets a chance to read that. First one I have is from Dale Langbein. It says, due to my unforeseen health issues, please accept this letter of resignation from my contract to teach social studies for the 2023-2024 year effective immediately. Teaching for the Wolsey Wesleyan School has been a wonderful experience, and I will miss everyone. I am leaving a grateful and appreciative person for the opportunity that was given to me. I have some personal items in the classroom, and my family will be picking those up. Please advise if you need anything else from me. I wish the very best to Wolsey Wessington School. Sincerely, Dale Langbein. Other one is from Tom Rice. The Wolsey Wessington School Board. After careful consideration, I am writing to inform you of my decision not to seek an extension of my current contract as superintendent of the Wolsey Wessington School District. The communities of Wolsey and Wessington have been very good to me, and I have truly enjoyed the experience. I am proud of the work we have accomplished during my time as superintendent, working together with the board, staff, and the people of Wolsey and Wessington. We are creating a strategic plan that reflects a dedicated investment in the future of our students. I am confident the track and football project will be a success. I am also confident the CTE collaboration with the Huron, Hitchcock, Tulare, and Sanborn Central School Districts will bear fruit as well. For those reasons and many more, it is clear to me that our district is moving forward in a direction to best benefit our current and future students. The future, however, holds a different path for me. I have learned that life moves by very fast, and we must all prioritize what is most important to us. With that in mind, I have decided that I need to be closer at home to be with my youngest son as he enters the senior year of high school next year, and closer to my other children and grandchildren. I look forward to continuing my work as superintendent through the completion of my current contract term. Thank you for the opportunity to serve this community. Yours in education, Tom Rice. Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the resignations?
Motion.
Ashley? Second?
I'll second it.
Jeff? All in favor?
Aye.
Resignations are approved. Everybody have a chance to look at the American Rescue Plan as written. Could I get a motion to approve the American Rescue Plan?
I'll motion.
Thank you, Ashley.
Mr. Chairman.
And Tara. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that's approved. Handbook discussion. Current load requirements and attendance and seat.
Still in the rescue plan here.
It's right
Right
here.
here, Chris.
Right by it, thank you.
And this had more, the load requirements and the attendance requirements, correct? That's what we want to go over. Policy changes then, or,
So this is more of just like a handbook change.
okay,
We used to have these in place. I don't know what happened to them, but they're not in there, so
oh,
I want to put them back in the handbook.
okay,
I think it used to be less than 15, I believe it was 11, but since we haven't had it, I would like to, this year do 15 for the second semester, and then next year, go down, so they have a little bit of, because again, we have some students who, if they did, so one of them is if you miss, over 15 days of the same class in the semester, you lose credit. So an example, so we looked at a student the other day, and she was taking 7 classes, and that student would have not got credit for 6. That's how much school is being missed.
okay.
So what grades do these students have if they're not attending school?
Well, not great. Some of them are passing, and some of them are, but they're barely hanging on.
So they're weeding themselves out basically without us telling them that they're failing because of attendance.
Kind of. They come in on Fridays, they make up a lot of stuff on Fridays. I think you miss school, let's say if you miss a day, then you have 2 days to make it up. So as long as they get it made up in that 2 days.
Was this adjusted because of the pandemic, I suppose?
Yes, I believe that's what happened.
Absolutely.
COVID came through, and then
Saw that everywhere.
we just wanted to make sure kids were coming to school, and so I get it, you had to change your rules, I guess.
So essentially, for right now, just reinstitute our pre-pandemic rules regarding.
And the 7 classes and the 6 for seniors, that's something we for sure already follow that. It's just not in the handbook, and I think it should be in there. If we're gonna do that. It has a certain amount, like you have so many credits, you're you would be a or a sophomore. If you have so many credits, you'd be a junior, but it doesn't specifically have, like, each year, if you're junior, you're gonna take 7, you're required to take 7 classes.
At least.
Yes, but we only have 7 periods, but we have a built-in study hall. Okay.
So that's the
20,
course
40
requirement.
What?
That was the course requirement. Seven.
That's it. Yes.
Oh, okay. She said that you were doing it for attendance.
Sorry, that maybe got confusing there. We were talking about 2 things.
And your attendance, you want what now?
On the attendance one, I just want, so for any reason, if you're gone for 15 days in a semester, let's say you missed geometry for 15 days or 16 classes of geometry, then you would lose credit for that. So you have to be there at least, you would only be able to miss 14 days.
And when you say for any reason, that means,
So in there it talks about, so that means doctor's appointments, it means, it would basically mean everything.
Okay, what about FFA and?
Not activities, because those are school activities.
Yeah.
where they go.
I mean, I'm gonna play the mom card, because I have a student who was out for those amount of days due to surgery, and would have failed her classes because she couldn't come back to school.
That's how the policy used to be, like, if it was a continued absence, it goes in as 1. So like if she would have missed 10 days in a row, it goes in as 1.
It's not like that anymore though.
Oh, it's not.
Some schools have that, so like if they miss, and we've talked about
Would that
it
be
before.
considered case by case then? Or not?
So I did, the only thing is you have to be really careful about it,
Yep.
because if you did case by case, I mean,
Right.
then you have to be really careful about it. I think there are some ways that, you know, an administrator could say, well, you know, this person, you know, an example would be one of the school districts I last worked at, had a young gal who had cancer. Obviously, you're not gonna hold that against that student, because she had to go into chemo and on, and then she was sick all the time, so. I think there's certain things that you would look at. I mean, this is just, a lot of schools around here, they go from 7 days a semester, 15 is the highest. I mean, if it's something you don't wanna do, you don't have to do it. It's a suggestion, I think it's important for kids to come to school.
What
I
are our
think the-
requirements
the-
right now?
Missing class needs to be a little bit more refined and defined in terms of doctor's appointments. I just can see a lot of pushback from people on missing 15 days. I don't know who misses and who doesn't and why, it's not my business, but,
I'd like to refer it back to the policy.
I'm sorry.
I'd like to refer it back to our policy and have them discuss it, look at it, rather than sit here for 10 minutes.
So maybe it could just be something that we look at for next year, because I don't wanna change it in the middle of the semester, I don't wanna do that, so.
And I can still write a lot of truancy letters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess I'd like to just at this time refer it back to our policy and get it going for the next year. Okay? American Trust Insurance Renewal.
You're up, Amy.
So I did, because I meant to email, but I did. Basically, it's just a renewal, but there was one thing I wanted to talk about. So our renewal really didn't go up much. It's, a little over 4,000 for what was, but our property increased over 2 million. But the one thing I want to talk about is what the big thing is that went up is our wind and hail deductible is 50,000 per building. So, so that means,
Old gym, high school, elementary. Would the comments and office be considered one?
so that would be basically our gym and our shop, our school, our bus garage, our track and football storage, our concession stand and our outdoor sign, even though that's not worth that. So what I wanna talk to you about, basically, we're just approving the policy as is, except for that this was changed. But if you guys would like to, change that deductible from 50,000 to 10,000, we can do a different, policy for an additional, and that would be 78.74 to add that on. So I just wanted to bring that up so you guys could think about it. I mean, I'm hoping since we're in the winter, we're not gonna have some straight winds.
So another 8,000 on the total to get it down to 10,000 per building.
Yes. So say a straight wind came through, destroyed this building, destroyed the shop, our deductibles would be like 50,000 for this, 50,000, you know, and that adds up then, if you consider, I mean, a straight wind could take the whole campus out.
So the renewal premium,
Which was in the bills too. At, is at 95,106 plus the, that RAS, which is getting paid to. To First Dakota Immunity of 10,382. So the whole total was around 105,000, a little over 105,000.
So if you did that deductible, then it would be up to about 113,000.
So on the last page of your color pages, it kind of, I had to fix a few transportation things. So when we did this, there was a few things we fixed.
but to change that deductible to 10,000 would add around $8,000 to that.
Mm-hmm. And that's just for the wind and the hail
Right.
deductible. You have a different deductible for other, for, you know, not that, which is on where it talks about property. But it, but the big change to the insurance policies are that there's hitting is your wind and your hail have a higher deductible now. So if you wanna think about whether it's worth, hopefully we never have a tornado that wipes out everything type thing, straight wind.
So is that what they're saying, is like if a tornado comes through, we're gonna need that hail and wind damage?
Basically like a straight line wind. If we had a straight line wind that came in, and the hail that came in and did some damage, our deductible would be 50,000. I'm sad in South Dakota, because that's about what's gonna get you. That's where we, a couple of years ago, we had to do all that work to the building, right after we signed on the commons and all, wasn't it? We had a big old tornado, like, not tornado, but the bad storm within 30 days, all that damage. Should've took over ownership of the company.
So does everybody see what the renewal premium is listed? And if we were to lower the deductible to
You're looking at a
10,000?
short $120,000.
I'm sorry.
You're looking at a short $120,000.
Yeah. Correct. So,
Because with the few changes I did in vehicles and get that stuff straightened out, we, paid 105,400.
okay.
So I told him I forgot, or that I would mention that and asked him if that's something that, can we like start next month? What you guys think about what you wanna do, or if you wanna decide now.
So the 110 is corrected to 105? The
Right,
renewal
yes.
premium?
This was, basically what I gave you is what he came over and talked to me about. as we were working on our renewal.
Okay.
So I guess discussion is if we want to approve as,
And that's what this paper is talking about, that Linden Hill. And changing it from 50,000 to 10,000. With where he wrote how much that would be.
for 78, 74, 20.
Yep.
So what's everybody's thoughts on that? Is it worth the extra 7,800 to lower the deductible?
When we have a storm, it is.
Get your Johnny Carson
And
hat
I mean,
on.
it's,
The future.
you know, talk to Castlewood School, or talk, you know, it's not if, at a lot of places, it's when. And you can insure yourself to death, we all deal with it in our own personal lives, but.
And it was just something I wanted to make you guys aware that that deductible is there, so say we would have a Castlewood thing. You're not shocked if we don't do it, at what our deductibles are gonna be, how much you know.
I know it's a big expense, but I guess I'm more for lowering the deductible because you just need one of them to make it
Right.
worthwhile.
Right.
And South Dakota weather's been anything but consistent lately. That's just my thoughts.
Next year, is it something that we can like look at other places, get better quotes?
Yeah, a few years ago, we did one with these guys and the pool, and they were both basically right around in the same amount. Of course, they weren't totally apples to apples because they do different things, and then we decided to stay with their local. I looked at, the other good one is the pool. A lot of your places will still go through the same places that these guys do, and see if they stay the same.
I'll make a motion.
To do
The 10,000.
the renewal, lowering the deductible to 10,000. Okay, I have a motion.
Second.
Mason, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Insurance renewal passed with the deductible at 10,000 for the
Okay.
renewal.
I'll let
Okay,
Let them know.
I guess that is all I have for now. We're gonna do executive session. I get a motion to go into executive session at 7:57.
Yes, sir.
Jamie?
Second.
Brooke. Okay. Favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you, everybody.